This morning, we begin a special series showing you how different things make drivers unsafe behind the wheel. It's the first time state troopers and the media in Savannah have ever done the exercises you're about to see. Here's part one of Dangerous Driving. Brad Gibson is around a lot of alcohol. It comes with the territory.
I'm production manager for the Chuck Courtney Band, and I own Capital A Productions.
If Chuck Courtney is playing a show, look around. Gibson will be working too.
There's always alcohol on site. Every single event that we do, there's some sort of alcohol on site.
It's even documented. The guys tip him back in the Chuck Courtney Band music video, Good Side of This Bar.
Well, I've heard it called the devil's den.
But Gibson has one rule.
My personal thing is I don't consume alcoholic beverages and get behind the wheel of a car, ever.
But he will today. More ironically, Senior Trooper Andy Sinkfield is serving Gibson.
Bottoms up.
He's testing him too.
We're on a controlled course. He's kind of knowing what to expect today, whereas the average person, just their judgment is already impaired. They're going to get behind the wheel and take risks that a normal driver wouldn't take.
According to Mothers Against Drunk Driving, or MADD, in Georgia in 2012, 301 people died because of drunk driving. In South Carolina, 358 died. And nationwide, more than 10,300 people died because of a drunk driver. 1.5-ounce shots of Canadian whiskey. 6 of them in an hour and a half, all in front of Georgia State Patrol.
Someone who says that I've only had 4 shots of a hard liquor tonight, volume intake of fluid is not that great, but the amount of alcohol would be equivalent to that of 4 beers or 4 glasses of wine.
After 5 shots, Gibson tested slightly higher than the legal limit for alcohol in the blood.
How about that? I'm DUI, folks.
After a 6th shot, he got behind the wheel.
Right.
He failed 2 of the 8 exercises.
Stop.
I'm pretty intoxicated. Yeah, I feel real unnatural being behind the wheel of a car and drinking alcohol.
More telling of his inebriation was this test.
See him twitching?
And other field sobriety tests.
1,025, 1,026, 1,028.
Gibson had no trouble with the numbers while sober. I asked if he knew he skipped 1,027.
Did I skip 27?
You sure did.
Did I really? How about that? I didn't know.
Mrs. Gibson drove them home safely. Their pal Chuck Courtney, recording in Nashville right now, would be proud.
From the good side of this bar.
Chuck really wishes he could be here. He sent me and he was like, please go and be an ambassador of our band. And he really wants to make sure that everybody knows that drinking and driving is inappropriate.
And our thanks to Brad for spending his day off drinking in the morning for this exercise. Now tomorrow, our Cassidy Lance will continue the series with a look at texting and driving. Then on Wednesday, our Jonathan Myers will show us what troopers consider one of the most dangerous things any driver can do.
Morning Savannah, working for you.
Welcome back. It is 6:45. I'm Jessica Kiss. This morning we continue with a special series showing you how different things make drivers unsafe behind the wheel. Now it's the very first time that Georgia State Troopers and the media in Savannah have ever done the exercises you are about to see. WJCL's Cassidy Lance got behind the wheel herself for this exercise, and she joins us with more on her experience. Good morning, Cassidy.
Good morning, Jessica. Yes, I got into the driver's seat to find out just how dangerous one common distraction can be. One state troopers say they see all too often. Now here's part 2 of Dangerous Driving.
8 trillion. That's how many text messages are sent not every year, but every month. And Georgia State Patrol officers know that a number of those messages are either sent or received while someone is behind the wheel.
We just live in a society where we're traveling all the time, whether it's school, business, pleasure activities, and we're trying to handle business and personal business while on the highway.
Something Senior Trooper Andy Sinkfield says started out as a problem among young people.
They're the ones that kind of brought it on and all the lingo and acronyms.
But now, that's all changed.
The older generation, 6-7 years ago, were not even texting and barely using a phone. But that same mature generation now are actually texting and using the smartphones because of the communication barrier. That's the way they have communication with their families and kids.
And it's that ease of accessibility that makes texting while driving so alluring, to be connected 24/7. So as a part of this technology-driven generation, I decided to put myself to the test. With Georgia State Patrol standing by, I found out just how dangerous texting while driving can be firsthand.
Now, to prove that I'm actually a decent driver, I'm going to hop in this car and take a spin around these cones without texting.
So I got in and buckled up. It wasn't exactly easy, but I still came out okay, with all cones in place.
Okay, so I passed the test, paying attention, eyes on the road, both hands on the wheel, but now let's see if I can do it texting while I'm driving. And Jonathan Myers wouldn't even get in the car with me, if that tells you anything. Here we go. I'm trying to maintain the same speed, probably about 10 to 15 miles per hour is what I did the other one. So let's see if we can do that, which it's going to be tough.
Tough, because according to Singfield, you're 23 times more likely to be involved in a crash if you text and drive. And the average person looks away from the road while texting for about 5 seconds.
Just traveling at a moderate speed, you're traveling further than the length of a football field. You're traveling further than 300 feet in only 5 seconds.
So with all that in mind, how did I fare?
My text. Oh, okay.
Not too well,
Oh, no.
knocking over 3 of the 6 cones.
So the main thing we saw was really just the distraction of not knowing what was going on in front of you, not being able to maintain that speed.
Oh my gosh, okay.
And just the overall faculties, we're kind of lost in that whole scenario.
And with the Thanksgiving holiday upon us, Singfield says following the rules of the road is especially important.
More people's going to be on the roadway, so of course they're probably going to be on their phones, and they're wanting to share their plans, they're wanting to share the pictures that's happened over the holiday period, so that means more people's going to be on the phones.
If I was out on the road, this trooper probably would not be too happy with me right now. It just goes to show how dangerous this really can be. Now, a texting ban was first enforced in the state of Georgia in 2010 that covers any type of cell phone use other than phone calls, like email and social media. But Trooper Singfield says, unfortunately, numbers have not decreased since that ban was put into place. He says it's simply a hard law to enforce. Now, you're going to want to make sure to join us back here tomorrow when our Jonathan Myers will show us what troopers consider one of the most dangerous things you can do while driving. Jessica?
Absolutely. People will want to tune in for that. Another thing with the texting, now that it is illegal in the state of Georgia, Trooper Singfield was saying a lot of people are trying to conceal it, holding their phones low in their lap, versus before maybe people held it by the steering wheel and their eyes were at least closer to looking at the road.
Exactly.
It's just a situation. People really need to just put down the phones and wait till they get to their destination or pull over.
Yeah, they do. It's a dangerous situation either way you look at it.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Cassidy.
Sure.
All right. Well, the special reports on dangerous driving continue this morning.
Recently, I stayed up for a long time to find out how my body and my mind would handle sleep deprivation.
Yeah. Then on a closed course near our station, he drove. But how well? Well, here's part 3 of dangerous driving.
On a closed course off of Chatham Parkway, WJCL News and Georgia State Patrol have shown you how poorly someone drunk drives.
Right.
And someone who is texting.
Oh, okay.
Now it's time to show you the dangerous position I put myself in by not sleeping.
Been awake since 10 p.m. on Saturday night. And right now it's 5:45 Monday morning.
Almost 32 hours awake, and I can tell you I'm slowing down mentally. However, the worst is yet to come.
Right.
Some of our latest statistics and research shows that people that were fatigued longer than 24 hours were at far worse in a driving skills test than someone who was impaired above the legal limit.
To recap, the volunteer drunk driver failed 22% of his closed course exercises. Here I am after 36 hours awake.
Left. Left. Stop.
Utterly exhausted, I failed 66% of the tests the trooper gave me. In fact, the only tests I passed were the stopping exercises.
One time I actually told you one direction, but I pointed another direction just so we wouldn't get in a set routine of you trying to figure out and guess ahead of what we were doing. And you saw the response was just so delayed that we never had a chance to not impact the cone.
I asked Senior Trooper Andy Singfield how tired is too tired. to safely drive.
Typically after that 12-hour mark, we start to see a decrease in reaction time, but when you get past that 18 to 20-hour mark, you're just as impaired as someone who's under the influence of an alcohol or a drug.
What grade do you give me on my my little test you gave me?
Well, you would have failed, and hopefully you won't be driving after staying up 30 hours again.
Absolutely not. I've got someone taking me home, which I'm glad of that. And thanks for the test. It was awesome.
Thank you. Stop, 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 stop.
Oh, that was rough.
Have you recovered? This was last week.
You know, I was telling Cassidy, and maybe even you as well, at the end of last week, that I still felt it even into Thursday and Friday. The Thursday and Friday leading up into that. It took me the weekend to recover.
Well, they say you never regain the lost sleep. I mean, it's just like you got to move forward from there, and then obviously get a lot of rest and try to feel.
And I can tell everyone, and when I left, right after you saw that, the last thing I shot, I got a ride home from Kevin Solomon and Cassidy Lance, and I went to sleep and slept for more than 12 hours straight.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow. Yeah. Well, also a study by AAA found that those who work the night shift are actually six times more likely to be involved in a drowsy driving crash.
We better be careful, Jessica. There's something else. Sleep-related crashes are most common in men younger than 25. Studies show they are more likely to stay up late, sleep less, and get behind the wheel.
Yeah, indeed. Well, keep watching, because after Jonathan's full storm tracker forecast next, we're going to show you the outtakes from his story. While they are very funny, folks, they do drive home just how tired and really out of it you were.
I was out of it, no doubt about that. You gotta watch these. I hope
it's good.
Don't make fun of me too much.
Don't go anywhere.
Yeah, we'll be right back after the break. Thanks for watching. Good morning, Savannah.